Welcome to another episode of the Bobby Experience. I'm your host, Bobby. On today's show, I have an aspiring Christian filmmaker. He's director and producer, also has his own production company, thywillproductions, and has an upcoming film, Death of Me. Please give a warm welcome to George Martinez Jr.
Hey, it's Bobby. Thank you very much for having me on.
Glad to have you.
Definitely.
All right. First thing I wanted to ask, what led to you becoming a director?
You know, about 15 years ago, I was a part of a drama ministry at my church in the city, and part of that drama was doing not only live stage productions, but video productions. And what we used to do is combine the two. So I had the privilege of being able to direct a couple of those video episodes, and that's really where I found the bug. You know, that's really what it was like, wait a minute here, you know what, I think I like this. You know, I saw that I had a certain eye for things, and fast forward to 2015, decided to go back to school for it, and graduated last December of 2018 from College of DuPage. So definitely, you know, with that being said, knowing the stories God put in my heart, I said, you know what, I think these are some stories that I got to tell, and so here I am.
Oh, that's great. Next thing I want to ask, who are some of your favorite directors?
Some of my favorite directors. You know, I have to be honest, and this was always a controversy in school, but Quentin Tarantino. You know, it's his storytelling. He just has a way of bringing a scene to the edge of your seat. You know, even if it's just talking. You know, I mean, there's many movies that he does where you have two people in a scene, and yet you're sort of drawn in. It's his style of directing. It's his style of storytelling. You know, I'm not into a lot of the flash bang, you know, things, but I'm more into a compelling story. Something. M. Night Shyamalan. I actually like M. Night Shyamalan. You know, I think he does very well with sort of suspense and the suspense of a scene. You know, the construction of that, and again, bringing that viewer into the scene. So, but yeah, so those are just a few of directors that I like.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question next.
Sure.
If you could have an A-lister you can work with, or more than one, who would, in the industry, would you like to have work with you?
All right. Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he's really blown me away with his acting, and I think he really brings out a character. So I like Jake Gyllenhaal. Michael B. Jordan, I think, is another great actor on the rise. But honestly, even on the flip side of that, I think what I do like as well is that person who's on the rise. So really, that person that is an unknown, giving them that opportunity to really showcase their talent, their art. Just as I'm an up-and-coming filmmaker, you know, for me, it's to give opportunity for that up-and-coming actor as well. And so, yeah, so definitely, you know, as much as the A-listers that I would like to work with, I really would also like to work with some of the unknowns as well.
Right. Yeah. I think the Chicagoland area has a big pool here.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's definitely, you know, it's why be a small fish in a big pond, right?
Right.
And not that Chicago is a small pond, but, you know, definitely Chicago in the past few years, as you know, has really been on the rise with movies and filmmakers and actors and so much talent that is like around the neighborhood. And so, yeah, definitely Chicago. I mean, I'm born and raised Chicago. I'm diehard Chicago. I love my city, and so, you know, I want to tell stories that are in Chicago, that take place here, you know, with Chicago actors. Obviously, I'm not going to say no to any actor that wants to be a part of it, but reaching from, I guess, your own backyard, right, as they say. And so, yeah, definitely.
Okay, absolutely. Next, I want to ask you about, tell us about thywillproductions and the upcoming film, Death of Me.
Oh, thywillproductions. So thywillproductions is a passion creation for my production company. And as I mentioned briefly in the beginning, graduating last year from film school, getting my degree in that, really was one of those things where obviously going to school, hey, I want to be Hollywood. You know, you go to school and you're thinking big, right? I want to be on the red carpet. I want to be getting an award. And, you know, obviously with a lot of that, it's tough. I mean, that's just being real. It's definitely tough. I mean, Lord knows I looked online on how to even just work my way in, and, you know, it's tough. And because of that, you know, I just felt God pressing in my heart saying, you know, that's not where you belong. I want you to tell this story. And of course I'm like, nah, you know. But, you know, he put that seed in me, and little by little it was, all right, you know, so I guess, yeah, you know what? Why not produce my own movies? Why not produce my own stories to tell? And those stories of others who might not be given that open door because they don't know somebody in the industry. And produce that. These compelling stories, these stories that relate to somebody out there, you know, and definitely being Christian films. And so with Thy Will Productions, you know, it was just a matter of, Lord, I want to make sure that no matter what I do, no matter what project I take on, you're always going to be glorified, ultimately. And so even in trying to come up with the name, that was a process in itself. And I tried this name, I tried that name, I tried to be slick, you know. And one day at church, the song from Hillary Scott, "Thy Will,"
Right.
was there, and I love that song, and I was singing it, and I was like, "Thy will be done," and he's like, "Yeah, that's it." I was like, "Yes, Lord, Thy will be done." He's like, "No, that's the name. You prayed, you wanted me to give you a name. That's the name I'm giving you, Thy Will Productions." And I was like, wait a minute here. And I Googled, I was like, is that what, because I would try names and I would Google the names, and hey man, it's not there. So you know what, Lord, Thy Will Productions, because yes, and anything that I'm going to do with this production company is going to be your will. And so, yeah, so that's how Thy Will Productions came on board. And like I said, whatever project I take on, you know, whatever it is, it's, you know, I want this production company is to produce Christian films that, as I like to put it, revolutionize the Christian film industry. You know, telling stories that you would look at it and you go, you know, that the average Joe can look at it, and at the end when they see, you know, that, wait a minute, was that a Christian film? Was there a message in there, you know? And you know, not beating it over the head, but really connecting, you know, but in a very cinematic way, you know. So, yeah.
Okay. You know, there's that church that made the films Fireproof and Facing the Giants. I want to see more films of that genre. It's great that you, a filmmaker like such as yourself, that's has that heart to put that out there, share about God's message, and share about the love of Jesus. Now, tell us more about the Death of Me, this upcoming film that you plan on making, short film.
Yeah, so Death of Me is, you know, it's a story of a man named Tony,
Okay.
who he's a man of faith. And in his journey, in his walk as a Christian, you know, obviously as Christians, we all have a past.
Right.
And as Christians, you know, it's the point where we came to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm a sinner.
Right.
So that's what it is. It's the story of this man named Tony who has this past, who, you know, has a struggle and with drugs, and he finds himself at a crossroads again of this demon from the past and this desire to want to walk faithfully. And obviously he's fallen and he's tripped before, and so now that he's confronted with this very same temptation, what choice does he make this time? You know, because the choices that we make have consequences, but the struggle is real as well. And as a believer myself, you know, I found myself struggling in my walk, And so it was a story that was put into my heart. I wrote it, and it really goes into the realm of what goes on, you know, with this person who's struggling. What goes on when they're faced with this temptation, and to see it, you know, kind of like that deep. And so that's what this film, Death of Me, is about, you know. And I lay it before the Lord and say, okay, you know what, here you go.
All right, if he's placed it on your heart, and that's what he's planned for you to do, what stands in your way?
Exactly, and you know, and that's exactly it. That's a good point. Is that, you know, the enemy is going to want to put all those, you know, obstacles. You know, you don't got money, you don't got this, you don't got the experience, you don't, you know, no, you know, enough. Here it is, you know. So, like I said, I'm excited. It's obviously this is my first film. It's a 30-minute short film, you know, and with production is going to begin in February, and I'm looking to have it released by spring of 2020. And so, yeah, that's definitely the goal. So,
I look forward to it. And something I wanted to add too is that George will be looking for a background. So, if you're available and willing to take part.
yeah, so definitely, like Bobby said, you know, production is going to begin in February. I still could use some extras for the background for some scenes that I have. It doesn't matter what age, you know, from young to old. I got several scenes that can use all types. So if you're interested, please email me, thywillproductions@gmail.com, and you know, just put in the subject line what it is that you're interested in. Again, my name is George, and if you want to check out, I do have a social media page that I'm sort of putting updates and meet the cast and some of the crew and some of the different steps along the way. Is Death of Me at Thywill Productions. It's a Facebook social media page for this film. So,
Yeah. Two quick facts. Just want to say I appreciate your service in the military. George here
Thank you.
happens to be a Marine. Yes.
a Marine, yep.
Yes. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Number two, happy belated birthday, sir.
You did that, you
Yeah.
didn't you? Thank you.
Birthday. All right. Well, it's great to, I guess, in a way, celebrate like your belated birthday today. But
Yep.
just want to say thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. This is awesome. I have to say this is a first, so this is very cool. You know, I'm glad. Congratulations on your show as well. Yeah, this is awesome.
Thank you very much. Well, this is Bobby and George signing off, but see you on the next show. Peace.
Yep.
Take care.
Bye.
Good stuff.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thank you.